सबको नमस्कार. According to Vedas and according to latest modern science, a human being is not alone in the society. Fritjof Capra, one of the greatest modern physicists, has written a book, The Web of Life. The whole world, one of the greatest modern physicists, the whole world is interwoven as a spider's web, in which man is also a strand, a fiber. And then he has written another book, The Hidden Connections. The relation between myself and you, the relation between myself and God, the relation between myself and nature, it is not visible, but it is deeply hidden. If I just go into myself a bit deep, I know the whole creation is interconnected. When I went to Andaman, when the sea is in the normal state, the small islands, they appear to be separate. When the sea goes down, you will find it is only one island with 10 small peaks. Therefore, on the surface, there appears to be 10 islands, but when you go slightly deep, there is only one island with 10 peaks. Therefore, now science is also understanding. The Ishavasya Upanishad says, Tasmin apaha matarishvadadat. A man is like a child sitting on the mother's lap. And then Kalidasa says, man should not kill a cow which gives him milk. He should milk it. Similarly, Mother Earth, it should be used very sparingly without, we all know the story of the hen which laid golden eggs. The greedy man killed the golden egg. This is what we are doing. Therefore, now man is understanding his relation with the physical creation. Our Sanatana Dharma is the only Dharma which has divided nature into Panchabhutas. Why do we call them Panchabhutas? Because man has got 5 indriyas, 5 senses. He can understand, he can look, he can collect the whole creation only through the instruments which he has got. Therefore, this Akasha is the instrument which has come to him as his capacity to hear. Akasha Vani, he says. What is there? The sound in his physical body is in the external creation as Akasha. Akashat Vayu. Vayu is the sense of touch in you. Therefore, what is there in the creation as Vayu, that is in you the sense of touch. Vayu or Agni. What is there as energy? What is there as a light in the external world is your sense of sight. You are able to see it. आंखों में चमक है तब. And then Agner Apah. Out of Agni comes Apa, water. Water is your sense of taste. When I talk about a pickle, when I talk about sweet, the mouth starts watering. Therefore, what is there? Water in nature is in my body the sense of taste. And then finally, Adbhya Prithvi. What is there as earth in the external nature is my sense of smell in my nose. I am able to smell. Punyo Gandha Prithvi, Sri Krishna says in Gita. Therefore, the whole creation has got in your own body representation. Therefore, the Pancha, 5 senses of man and the 5 bhutas of the creation, they match each other. The Chandogya Upanishad says, inside these, there is one Antaranga, there is one space. The Hridaya Akasha. The Hridaya Akasha have got everything in it which is there in the Bahirakasha. In the outside Akasha, everyone is corresponding. Now, the latest is one Benoit Mandelbrot. He has started a science called the fractal geometry. He says the pattern which is there in the atom, in the microcosm, the same pattern is in the whole creation. A new geometry, a new mathematics has come. Therefore, the Pindanda Aikya, about which is whatever is there in the Pinda, is there in the whole creation, in the Anda. Now, science is talking that language. Science is giving evidence. In 1930, there was a conversation in Berlin between Rabindranath Tagore and Einstein. Rabindranath Tagore says, the world is understood only by your five senses. Therefore, beyond the five senses, there is no world. Tagore says, no, no, even when I am not there, the table is there, the chair is there. Then Tagore asks, who understands the chair? Who understands the table? Then again and again, Einstein goes on insisting there is a world beyond man. But Tagore says, if a man does not look up to the world, there is no world for anyone. Then after 80 years, Ilya Prigogine, one of the greatest scientists, he himself is a Nobel laureate, he said, 80 years of science has proved the poet was nearer to truth than the scientist. Therefore, there is a great logic in describing the creation as a Panchabhutas, because the man who observes them, the man who interprets them, the man who understands them, the man who uses them has got only five senses. Therefore, describing this as a Panchabhutas is a master stroke of Sanatana Dharma. Master stroke of, unfortunately, in English, there is no equivalent word for the word bhuta. They translate it as element. Element is a wrong word. Bhuta is that portion of the nature which is understood by your senses. Therefore, Akasha, Akashat Vayu, Vayo Agni, Agni Rapaha, Adbhya Prithvi. This is the three operations. Therefore, the very fine understanding of nature. Now, the science is also understanding. Now, what man is doing? Man has to establish a positive, a very loving, very economical relation with the nature. Therefore, Akasha is the space. The space is a great short supply in the world. Now, the world, many great scientists have said, the world has got place only for 300 crores of people. Now the world population is 780 crores. 2.5 times more population can the world can bear. There is a New York population liability. One Cohen, he has calculated how much is the Earth's Urvara Shakti, how much water is there in the earth, how much oxygen is there. Therefore, if man uses properly all this, 300 crores of people can live in this world. Anything more, there is going to be a crash. There is going to be a problem. There is going to be a war. There is going to be a COVID. You can have any kind of problem. But the basic problem is the earth has got more people than it can carry. Therefore, there is a problem of space. One of my friends built a house in Trichy. Then, what they have in agricultural land, he has built a house. A snake come inside his house. He said, a snake has come inside the house. I said, no, you have gone to the snake's house. Snake is there where it was. You unnecessarily went and occupied the snake's house, and the snake has to live there. Therefore, this is how man is encroaching on nature. Just like you have got a right to live, all the creations, all the animals, they have got the right to live in nature. Therefore, Akasha is a great problem now. Now, Akashat Vayu, air pollution. Every year in Bombay city alone, 50,000 people die because of air pollution. You might have heard a great leader of India. She has gone from Delhi to live in Goa because Delhi air you cannot breathe. Therefore, air pollution is a huge problem. Keeping the air pure, that is, pranayama helps. Consuming less of prana, using the prana from inside, the pranic energy from inside helps. Then, Vayur Agni, energy crisis. There is only enough petrol, enough coal, only for the next 20 years. The children of the next generation have to find out their own sources of energy. Therefore, they cannot have. When I went to one polytechnic, they the professor was talking about internal combustion engine. I told him by the time these boys go and become leaders in the community, there are not going to be internal combustion engine because there is not going to be no petrol at all. Nature has taken 200 crores of years to create petrol, and man has burnt it up in 200 years. 200 crores to 200 years. Coal, man has already burnt up three-fourths of the earth's coal supply. There is going to be a tremendous energy crisis. And then, when we misuse energy, then it is another cause of pollution. There is a hole in the ozone layer. All the unwanted rays that are coming to the earth from the sun, they are allowed to come back because there is nothing to protect the earth. Then Agner Apaha, water. The human body is 80% water only. Krishnamurti is 80% water only. Each person is 80% water only. And then water, the whole world has got only 1.5% pure drinking water. We misuse water, we abuse water, and 1 liter of dirty water can make 8 liters of pure water dirty. There is one Professor Narasimhan who is the professor of property law in America. He says 1 bucket of water he recycled 50 times in a year. But we are putting plastic on the surface of the earth and preventing the circle. Now already from 50 the earth has come to 39 times. 50 times we were circulating the water. Now it has come to 39 times. There is going to be a terrible water stage. The next world war is going to be on water basis. Therefore, water has to be very economically used. And then the sense of smell. Then the earth itself, we have put lot of chemicals onto the earth, and all the worms, they have died. Just like you have got a right to live on the earth, the earthworm also has got the right to live. You are abusing, you are polluting the earth, whereas the earthworm is fixing nitrogen into earth, producing protein for you. When Lakshmi Bibi went to England, she said they dug up 1 cubic meter of what they call the peat. Peat is a lower form of coal, lower than lignite. She found some 80, 90 million insects in 1 cubic meter. Therefore, the earth is a living thing. We are abusing it, we are putting chemicals, we are killing all the insects. After all, the chemicals which we put into the earth is coming back to earth, us, in the form of food. There is food poisoning, there is food pollution. Food is not at all tasty. Yesterday somebody gave me a little moongfali. I could not eat it all. So flat. You have to put a salt, you will have to put mirchi, you will have to put this, that, masala. Otherwise you cannot eat groundnut. A good, well-grown groundnut you can just eat. Therefore, man has to establish a very positive, creative, loving relation with the Panchabhuta because his body is made up of Panchabhuta. Therefore, into our puja paddhati, into our puja, all these Panchabhutas are worshipped. Therefore, Akasha. Akasha, I told you, is the component of sound. All our mantras, all our chanting, we are worshipping the Akasha Bhuta when we worship God. We chant mantras, we ring a bell. All our music have come out of our temple. Then Akashat Vayu. Vayu is the sense of touch. Therefore, for that we offer flowers to God. Sri Ramakrishna used to take flowers, rub his body, and offer it to God. The sense of touch is offered in the form of flowers. And then Vayor Agni. Agni is Deepa. In all temples, we perform Deepa Radhana. We decorate the temple. Just now we had Deepavali. Therefore, we decorate the whole earth with Deepa. We worship Agni. We offer Agni in the form of a lamp. One Kirkar has written a beautiful book, The Art of Lamps in India. Because the fire energy is so sacred, we have made beautiful lamps. A whole book full of how beautifully we have made lamps because it hosts Agni. Deepa is a most beautiful thing. Then Agni Rapa. This water we offer for Nivedana. When we perform Naivedya to God, we take a little water and perform Parisheshana. And when we chant Pranaya Swaha, Panaya Swaha also, first we offer a bottom layer of water. Amritopastaranamasi. Let this layer of water be the bottom layer of the food that I eat. Then after eating the food, we say Amrita Abhidanamasi. Let it be the covering for the food. Therefore, the food is sacred. Water is used to pack it. One Anupam Mishra, who is a friend of mine, he has written a book, a pictorial book, Rajasthan ke Rajat Bunde. Rajasthan, they have to go 20-30 kilometers for bringing water. Therefore, water is a symbol of God for them. Every talab, every paudi, every well, every stream is beautifully decorated. Rajasthan temples are beautiful. Rajasthan water points are as beautiful as the temple. The book has come in English. The book has come in Rajasthan ke Rajat Bunde. The silver drops of Rajasthan. How beautiful ponds are there. Because water is the most precious commodity. I know Rajasthan villages where the women walk 30 kilometers for bringing one pot of water. Now, water is the contention between Asia and Europe, there is a water war. Between India and Pakistan, there is a water war. Between India and Bangladesh, a water war. Between one state and another state, there is a water war. Between one district and another district, there is a water war. Between one village and another village, there is a water. Water is a very precious commodity. Therefore, we will have to use very sparingly. And then finally the smell of thing. The body itself is like a sandalwood. You know what you used to say, when it grind it in the service of others, sweet smell of seva comes out of this body which is made up of earth. Therefore, we offer agarbatti, we offer kunguliyam. There are very sweet smelling incense which we burn in performing the puja. Therefore, while performing puja, we recognize that we are made up of panchabhutas. Panchabhutas are expressed in our body as five senses. The panchabhutas occupy the whole world. The Lord is the Lord of the panchabhutas. The Atman is the Lord of the five elements of the body. This is our puja. Therefore, man's positive relation with nature starts with nature worship. The second panel. Similarly, our relation with the plant world. After all the food that we eat, it comes from the plant. Sun converts all the energy into carbohydrate and we eat it. Sun supplies the basic energy. Therefore, the chlorophyll, it converts those energy. And then we eat them as a food. In nature, there is no useless plant. We may not understand the use of some of the plant. Every plant helps your existence in this world. In Pataliputra, there is a great Ayurveda teacher. Then a student came to him and studied 12 years with him or Ayurveda. On the last day, the teacher said, Shishya, there is going to be an exam. You have to go around Pataliputra, the forest, the Upavanas, the house gardens, the family grown plants, the royal garden, and bring one leaf which is absolutely useless, which should not have any application at all, no use for man. Therefore, this student, an expert in Ayurveda, went round to the whole Pataliputra town, the forest, the Upavana, the garden. And ever his teacher has trained him so well, the moment he sees a plant, he finds some use for them. Therefore, at last, in the evening, he comes to the teacher, Guruji, I have searched the whole city of Pataliputra. There is not a single plant which is useless. Then he said, you have passed the examination. I wanted to know, I wanted you to go into the world knowing that every herb is a medicine. Every man is useful. Eknath used to say, every akshara is a mantra. Adikshanta samasta varnanakari. Shankaracharya says about Devi, Parashakti, Annapurna. From A to Ksha, every letter is a garland for her. Therefore, every letter is a mantra, provided you know how to use it. Every man is useful, provided you know how to use him. Every plant is useful, provided you know how to apply. Therefore, the plant world helps you in so many ways. Therefore, to worship plants, all over the country, we have got the concept of Sthala Vriksha. If you go to Prayagraj, you have to worship that Vata Vriksha. If you go to Gaya, you have to worship the Vata Vriksha. If you go to Kashi, you have to worship the Vata Vriksha. Therefore, you have to Badrinath, you have to worship the Badri tree. Therefore, every temple has got a tree to be worshipped. Therefore, the tree gives the medicine for those diseases which in that atmosphere comes to man. Therefore, if a man falls sick, he has eaten too many modakams, does not give to his neighbor, he gets a stomachache. He goes to temple, there will be Vilvam. Bilva will be there. Bilva is a very good medicine for stomachache. Therefore, Ganesh Chaturthi, this fellow has eaten too much sweet. He has not challenged with his neighbor. He gets stomach trouble. Durva grass. Durva grass is an excellent medicine for stomachache. Therefore, our temples have got this Thala Vrikshas, and then you know the modern agriculture, the plant kingdom has served man so well. After he knew how to cultivate agriculture only, he had a stable life. Next panel. Agriculture could be organized and man could live in one place only when he started cultivating his own food. Therefore, the trees are serving the nature so much. The roots of the tree, they hold the soil. They prevent it from getting eroded. They exude so much of oxygen. They absorb our carbon dioxide. They are the home for birds. They give shadow for animals. Therefore, and they give fodder, firewood, food, fiber, fertilizer. That much a tree serves a man. And then it is said, if a tree is alive, if it serves man 1,000 rupees worth of service it is given to him, if you cut the tree and use only the log of wood, you get only 8 rupees worth of wood. Therefore, a living tree, if it is worth 1,000 rupees, a dead log of wood is only worth 8 rupees. But man is destroying the world. India should have 33% forest coverage. We have got hardly 25%. And when the forests die, all the animals die, the tigers die, the lions die. Therefore, organized agriculture has given food, but at the same time, it is destroying life. But it has given stability, the human civilization. Therefore, worshipping nature has to be a part of man's survival. And then, when in Russia, there was a big food shortage. What happened? Whenever in Russia there is a food shortage, They kill the cattle in millions and millions. There is a relation between food shortage in India and killing buffaloes and cows. Therefore, the food shortage, it ends up in the death of the cattle of Russia. In China, they thought the sparrows are eating away the grains from the food. Therefore, during Mao Zedong's rule, he killed lakhs of sparrows. The town living fellows have go to the forest and they have to shout so that the sparrows don't breed, they don't get chicks, they don't leave eggs, they are not allowed to mate. And then the agricultural production in China came down so much because the sparrows, they help in cross pollination. They eat away the insects, they eat away the pests. A stage came in China, there were not enough sparrows. They approached Russia, you give us some sparrows. Russia charged $300 per bird. They have killed sparrows in thousands and thousands. For every sparrow they killed, they have to pay $300 to Russia. Therefore, when man indiscriminately destroys nature, he has to pay very heavily. Gita says, Chipram hi manushe loke siddhir bhavati karmaja. Every good act that you perform, you get result very soon. Similarly, the bad acts that you perform, the punishment also comes very, very fast. Chipram, very fast. Therefore, in America, they studied how butterflies help cross pollination, agricultural production. They said one butterfly in its lifetime, it produces $500 worth of grain through pollination. Therefore, they call butterflies flying $500 bills, $500 notes. And then man crowding out nature. Now the whole Europe has no natural habitat for lions, tigers, elephants. Therefore, I had a guest who is a billionaire. He said, "Oh, my brother has seen a tiger in its very natural format." I said, "I can show you a tiger in Kalakada, Mundandari, in Tirunelveli district." "Oh, can you show me?" My brother has seen a tiger in its natural housing, therefore he is very proud of it. Because in Europe, there are no tiger habitats, there are no elephant habitats, there are no lion habitats. For them, to see animals is a very rare thing. They have to go to African safari, they have to come to India to see tigers. Therefore, the whole civilization of Europe has killed all the housing. Habitat means a natural circumstance in which animals live. There is a story. Once Raja Bhoja had angry with a fellow, one young small fellow called Bukundu, and putting him in a prison, I am going to kill him. In that same prison, poet Kalidas also put. The king was angry with the Kalidas. That is the problem with living with the king. You don't know when kings will get angry. Therefore, Kalidas also was put in the prison. Bukundu was going to be killed. Kalidasa wrote a poem and sent it to Bhojaraja on behalf of Bukundu. Bhattir Nashtaha. The great Bhatti, brother of Vikramaditya, had died. Bharavi Yobi Nashtaha. Bharavi, the great poet, has died. Bhikshur Nashtaha. Buddha, the great Bhikshu, has also died. Bhimaseno Binashtaha. Bhimasena, the Pandava, he has also passed away. Bukuldoham, next in the line, Bukuldu is going to be killed. If you kill me, O Raja, what is going to happen? Yama doesn't know in what order to kill people. Therefore, he has chosen the letter Ba, Ba, B, B, Bu. Then who will be the next? Bhupati will be the next. Bhattir Nashtaha, Bharabiyo Binashtaha, Bhikshur Nashtaha, Bhimaseno Binashtaha, Bukundoham, Bhupati Tvamasarajan. Next, you are going to be killed. Therefore, when the king received this poem, he said, Bukundu could not have written such a beautiful poem. It is Kalidasa's handwork. He released both of them. Therefore, now parrots are dying, sparrows are dying, tigers are dying. Plants are dying. Who is there in the next in the list? Man is there in the next. If man wants to live, he has to preserve all the life. Man has been in his nature only for 2 lakhs of years. Already he has destroyed 50% of all plants and animals. There is an international union for conservation of nature. Every month they put out a bulletin. They say, man who has been in that form only for 2 lakhs of years, he has killed 50% of all plants and trees. These plants and trees, they serve us food, they serve us fuel, they serve us fiber, they give us dress, they give us fertilizer, they give us fuel, they give us furniture. How you can think of man without a tree? The Bodhi tree, the people tree, all the trees, they are our own neighbors. Therefore, tree worship is a part of our culture. It is said in the Shastras, the women of the area should go and protect the trees. Whenever somebody cuts a tree, the women, even if they are not able to stop it, they should go. It is a sin, it is a sin, it is a sin. They should go and shout in the tree. Therefore, it is the duty of women to protect the tree. In Karnataka, as well as in Uttarakhand, there was a Chipko movement, an Apiko movement. Women went and hugged the trees because when the trees are cut, the soil is loosened and the whole village in Uttarakhand will come down. Therefore, trees, they give you the homes, they give you the homes for the animals, they help your agriculture, they help you in thousand, they give you food. Therefore, this story, that in China, one Zhou Wang wrote a novel. He is sent to Mongolia. In Mongolia, they worship wolf as a god, totem. And then there is a friendship between the wolf and the grass. When there are more wolves, there will be more grass. In between, the rabbits are there. The rabbits eat away the grass. The wolves eat away the rabbits. Therefore, when the rabbits are eaten away, the grass grows more. There is a relation between wolf and man. Therefore, Hobbes, one great philosopher, he wrote, man's relation with nature is like wolf and man. He always fights. Out of that, Marx formed his famous class war theory. Rousseau said, no, man and animal, they are like brothers. Tasmin napaha matarishwa datat. If Marx has listened to Rousseau instead of Hobbes, his class war concept would not have come at all. Therefore, the living plant, therefore, there is a habit of worshipping Tulasi in our homes. There is a Durva Suktam in the Vedas. The Vilva is worshipped. Adi Shankara has praised the Vilva tree. Therefore, these plants, these trees, these are part of our own nature. When a tree dies, a part of ourselves dies. Therefore, now modern environments say, even if you have got only one tree in front of your house, there is a micro environment. It purifies the air and it makes you a healthy person. Therefore, that is the great contribution man has forgotten. Therefore, you all remember when K.M. Munshi was the food minister, there is Vriksharopana. They are planting trees. It used to be a great festival. Therefore, 33% forest cover, if it goes down, man will have a breathing problem. Man will have a pollution problem. Man will have erosion problem. Man will have food production problem, a fuel problem. All kinds of problems come. And finally, in this series, man and animals. You all know man's relation with the cows, man's relation with the elephant, man's relation with all the animals. And then he is able to use them. The cow's milk. The cow is a mother in Indian culture. Cow is called mother. Ganga, Geeta, Gopala, Gai, these are all to be worshipped. The animal kingdom contributes so much to the nature. In India, is the biggest producer of milk in the world. The cows contribute 4% of India's total income. And now modern science has found out more than the milk yield, the gobar, which gives excellent fertilizer, is a great source of income for Indian economy. Therefore, the animal has to be protected. Animal has to be loved. Now, modern science has found if you go around a cow, your body energy level increases. They have measured the energy level of a man at the ordinary level. Up to 12 feet, his body energy is felt. If he goes round the cow some 3, 4 times, his energy level spreads to 120 feet. That is the kind of energy when man gets when he interacts with the cow. There is in America a movement has started hugging the cow. Therefore, cow gives so much of energy to man. And on the peak of the ladder, the Panchabhutas, the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the highest is the human kingdom. Then man's love towards man, man's service towards man, man's understanding of man. It is the highest dharma. When Sri Ramakrishna was going to Kashi, there is a place called Devghar. In Devghar, he found very many poor people without oil on their head, without food in their stomach, clothes on their body. Sri Ramakrishna went and sat on the ground. He told that Mathura Prasad Mathur, unless you give these human beings food, oil, at least one good meal, one application of oil on their head, I am not going to come to Kashi. Then the Jamindar said, sir, I have got very limited money. No, I cannot come to Kashi and worship Shiva when I find hundreds of people are starving on the way. Therefore, out of that concept became Shiva Bhave Jiva. You see Shiva in every living being. Swami Vivekananda says, man has built hundreds of temples for God, but God has built a temple for himself. What is that? It is the human body. He says it is the Taj Mahal among the temples, the most beautiful temple. Out of that, Swami Vivekananda gave the concept, Sarva man, Sarva God. The word Daridra Narayana is the word which Mahatma Gandhi borrowed from Swami Vivekananda. Therefore, you see the Vedas says, Atiti Devo Bhava, but I say Murkha Devo Bhava, Daridra Devo Bhava, Artha Devo Bhava. Swami Vivekananda says, there is an idiot, who is an unlettered man, who is a sick man. He doesn't know how to write his name. Therefore, when you go to the post office, he says, please write my name, write the address on the post office and postcard and post it. You do it. Then you feel, I have been feeling I cannot help others. But there is a man who is so weak, weaker than me. I can help him. Then you stop and think, yes, I also got some capacity to help others. Then Swami Vivekananda says, that is your real birthday. When you find out that what service you can do to others, that the humblest of the humble, the lowest of the lowly, can also serve others. He also has some talent which he can use in the service of others. That is your birthday. From then on, your life turned. There was one Rockefeller, on hearing Swami Vivekananda's lecture, he donated 42,000 crores of rupees for some injections or inoculation, some vaccine. Therefore, the next day, he came to Swami Vivekananda, expecting Swamiji to appreciate him, congratulate him, thank him. Swamiji did not even look at him. Then Rockefeller said, Swamiji, on listening to your lecture, I have given so much money to charity, you should thank me. Swamiji said, you should thank me. You did not know how much goodness was lying buried in your own heart. By giving this money to others, you have got your own self-respect increased. You have recognized the divinity in you. You have recognized the God in you. It is not that God has fallen into a ditch. You are going to take him out. No. The Lord, who is Lakshmipati, has come in the form of poor so that when you see him, you get compassion and all the good qualities in you, they come out, they well up. Then you go and help him. You feel proud about yourself. You see happy about yourself. Therefore, the human body is a temple which God has built for himself, Swami Vivekananda says. Therefore, Jiva Sevaye Shiva Seva, Nara Seva, Narayana Seva, Manava Seva, Madhava Seva. Therefore, now a new concept of religion has come, a new concept of dharma has come. What is the dharma? Manava Dharma. When a man is suffering, you have to help him. Oh, you say it is his karma to suffer. Mata Maradananda Devi used to say, if it is that man's karma to suffer, it is your karma to go and help him. Why he should suffer in front of your eyes? He is suffering in front of you because it is your karma to go and help him. Therefore, the concept of Manava Seva, of Madhava Seva, that is, by uttering these sentences, Swami Vivekananda has put religion in a new light. There were lakhs and lakhs of sadhus going around. Their tyaga did not have any application in the society. He says, at least to some of them, let them give education to the poor. Let them give service to the poor. Then he found out that religion and social service can be united. He found a good application when the whole city of Calcutta was plagued by plague disease. When people served, when you help others, you find the divinity within you. That is personality development through service. Now, great economists have started saying this. Francis Fukuyama has written a book, Trust. The whole wealth of the society has come because man believes in man. Otherwise, a 10 rupee note, what is the worth of it? If I burn it, I cannot even make a cup of tea with that heat. But when I take it to the bazaar, there are people who believe that this 10 rupees worth, they give me a cup of tea. Therefore, Francis Fukuyama says, all the wealth of the world is born out of man's belief in man. Angus Madison, he has written a book, The Economic History of the World. He says, up to the 1700th year, one third of the whole world's wealth was within India. And one fourth of the world trade was in India. India was not only the richest country, India was the most business targeted country. The whole world wanted to come to India. For getting wealth, for getting knowledge. You should study the life of Yuan Shuang. How much he struggled to come to India to get knowledge. You should study Angus Madison's work. How the whole world, if anybody could take a satellite photo of the world in the 1700th year, all the seaways, sea paths, they will be converging in India. Why? To take India's wealth, to trade with India. What was India's secret? The human relation. Father loving, son, husband, wife love, the villagers loving. Warren Hastings was the Governor General of India, says, though we ruled India for 200 years, we could not penetrate Indian villages. The villagers were so well knit. They help each other so much. The Englishman has no role to go there. That kind of village life, even today you will find in Arunachal Pradesh. One day I went to Arunachal Pradesh village, a house was burnt. But within the evening, the whole village came round, rebuilt the house, gave that man some cocks, some pigs, whatever animals he could, they gave. And in the evening, a man whose house has been completely destroyed was richer in the evening because he was part of the village. That was the nature of every Indian village. Warren Hastings says we could not penetrate the Indian village. The people are so well knit, helping each other. Therefore, Angus Madison says India's richness, India's business equipment, one third of the whole world's wealth and one fourth of the whole world's trade was owned by India because Indian people were well united. Therefore, our love for man is not only for, Tiruvallur says, it is not only for a kaise, not for smiling. Nahudat poruttandu nattu. It is not only for smiling, it is for economic welfare, it is a physical welfare. Therefore, one Nusrat Pesheshkin has written a book, Family Therapy. You give medicine to a man who has got a good family. You give medicine to a man who doesn't have a family. The man with a family is able to recover very fast. Family itself is the title of the book is Family Therapy. Therefore, the human being are described as gregarious animal. Man is a social animal. He wants to live with human being. He wants to establish meaningful relation with human. But this cell phone, this TV, it has destroyed society. In 1940, Bertrand Russell said, these electronic instruments and gadgets, it will unite the whole world, all right, but it will destroy families. Therefore, it so happened 2 years back, in Madras, there was a big storm. There was no electric supply. In one house, there was only one candle. Therefore, the father, mother, brother, sister, they all sit round the candle and do whatever they can do. Then the mother made the remark, in light, we could not be together. It requires God to produce darkness so that we can come together. What a stupid way of spending life. We cannot be together, we cannot love, we cannot establish relations, we cannot give and take when there is light. Therefore, when God puts out light, there is darkness. We come together because there is only one candle in the light. Therefore, humanity has to face a big problem. Are we going to be together to face huge problem that humanity is going to face in the future, or going to be separated? In West, already the family concept has broken. The society has broken down. All atomization of the society, more and more individual, less and less families and society. Therefore, man is to face a huge challenge. Sneha, prema, daya, bhakti, komala kare pran, Tagore says. Sneha is with your equal. Prema is without expecting any return. Daya with a humbler person, a weaker person. Bhakti with a superior person. Love has got 4 connotations. Sneha, prema, daya, bhakti, komala kare pran. Vallur says, அன்பின் வழியது உயிர்நிலை. What is the sign of a person living? If he can show love to others, he is a living person. If he cannot show, he is absolute state. One of the greatest signs of a living being is loving. Therefore, a time has come for man to express his love towards fellow human beings and form meaningful relationships, meaningful families, meaningful society, meaningful civilization. To help them, there are gods. These devas, they are nothing but man's powers outside of him. Therefore, every deva has got an objective existence outside him. He also has got an existence inside him. For example, air. When it is outside, you call it air. When it crosses the nose tip and goes inside, you call it breathing. When it is grain outside, when it goes into your stomach, you call it food. Similarly, all the energies which are inside the human body, they are outside the world also. That's why in the beginning we talked about the concept of Pindaldaikya. In the human body, there is Antara Akasha. This Antara Akasha has got the same component which the Bahirakasha has got. In the outside world, there are energies. There are symbols of energies which we call Devatas. And inside the body also, there are Devatas. Therefore, in the human body, the Devatas occupy. For example, Indra, he sits in the hands. Agni sits in the eyes. Vayu sits in the skin. Therefore, the human body is also an abode of Devatas. And then these Devatas are counted as 32. There are 8 Vasus. What are the 8 Vasus? They are the Devas who make your life comfortable. Vasati. You live very comfortable. The Panchabhutas plus Dhruva Nakshatra, the early morning light, and the energy. These are called the Ashtavasus. They make your life comfortable. There are 11 Rudras. Man sometimes cannot take a positive lesson unless he is punished, unless he is made to weep. He doesn't learn lessons. Rudras are those devas who make you weep and then teach you lesson. But if you are intelligent, you can learn lessons directly from nature. And then 12 Adityas, they are the shining lustrous, the positive energies. And then 2 Ashwini Kumaras, the healthy giving Devata. Where are they? They are inside the body, they are outside the body. Therefore, one day Sri Ramakrishna and Totapuri, they talk. Sri Ramakrishna asked Totapuri, sir, apart from being inside the body, do they have an outside existence also? Then Totapuri says, yes. Apart from being inside, these devas have got an outside existence. For example, this Dakshineshwar Mandir has got one Bhairava who is very short, very stout, body full of hair. Then, after 7-8 days of this conversation, Totapuri directs Ramakrishna, you look back. On the tree, he finds a Bhairava whom Totapuri has described exactly. That was one occasion when Ramakrishna agreed, yes, these devatas, they are not only part of the human body, they are also outside of you. Therefore, they have got an independent, what we call objective existence. Then ultimately, the last panel, man is the last panel. Man is the abode of all himself, the Paramatma Swarupa. That is what Advaita says. All the energy of the creation, every aspect of nature is reflected in you. And then all the Ananda of the Paramatma, Etasya, Anandasya, Anyani Bhutani, Matram Upajivanti. The Paramatma's Ananda is there in every human being, every animal, every insect, and you are the complete personification of God Himself. India is the only country which says there is no greater truth than man. That is India's message to the world. Everywhere, man is called an animal. India calls each soul is potentially divine. This is the whole of religion. Swami Vivekananda says, what is the meaning of religion? Man has got a tremendous potential. The amount of energy, amount of intelligence, the amount of love that man has got in him, it cannot be calculated at all. Therefore, the Oxford Dictionary of Psychology, Philosophy, has produced one paragraph on the human brain. The human brain has got 10 raised to the power of 14, 10 followed by 14 zeros, so many cells. And then each cell is connected to other cell. Therefore, each cell can be connected in 3000 ways. That makes 10 raised to the power of 87. And then each emotion can have 10 levels of intensity. Therefore, one human being have got cells which have got levels of intensity of emotion 10 raised to the power of 140. 10 followed by 140 zeros. The authors of the philosophy book, they say, compared to this, the number of basic elements in the whole creation is only 10 raised to the power of 87. One human being has got so many cells, interconnection, emotional level. Now, modern science is talking the language of Advaita. And then this dictionary ultimately says Though a human body has got so many cell connections, the man has got an ego, an identity. I ate, I spoke, I saw. Therefore, how do you reconcile with such a huge variety with that one sense of I? The human body has got so many cell connections, 10 raised to the power of 140, 10 followed by 140 zeros. But still, I have got the concept of I. How do you recollect unless you concede there is a Paramatman, a central force which links the whole creation, in whom all the creation is embedded, in whom all the creation is found a home? You cannot explain. Therefore, scientists also are talking nowadays the Advaitic language. Therefore, man's relation with the Panchabhutas, man's relation with the plant kingdom, man's relation with the animal, man's relation with the man, man's relation with the Devas, man's relation with the Paramatman. It defines the concept of Dharma in his behavior right from the morning to the evening, to the lowest atom to the highest Paramatma. No other nation have got such scientific, huge, enjoyable, interesting, rewarding concept of Dharma like India. We will continue the discussion in the next day. Thank you very much for being.